What's up, everybody? Us versus movies. The Chase, 1994. Riding shotgun on this one is Dustin and Kevin.
Hello.
I'll let you decide who's who. Doesn't matter. What does matter is The Chase, directed by Adam Rifkin, written by Adam, starring Mr. Tiger Sperm himself, Charlie Sheen, Christy Swanson, Henry, Don't Call Me Black Flag Rollins, Josh Mostel, Ray Wise. 20th Century Fox is to blame. Came out in the illustrious year of 1994. It's about 97 minutes. $7.9 million were stolen for people that viewed this within the theater. And yeah, it's I had never seen this movie. I knew it existed. And of course, everybody knew who Christy Don't Call Me Buffy Swanson is. A character you might have heard of, Dustin, later popularized by one Sarah Michelle.
Yep. And I think, with all the current Joss Whedon reveals, you probably know why she didn't show up for the TV show now. So she's probably like, no, not working with that guy anymore.
Yeah. Full circle, man, comes together. There's atrocious cameos in here by everyone's favorite Chili Peppers, Flea and Anthony Kiedis. Ron Jeremy's in here, and I think he's got a little Me Too going on there, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, there's a couple other people that you think you'll know, but it's really not really relevant.
You'll have seen these character actors in other things, possibly.
Nothing
important in your life.
Really, the big takeaway for me was some of the music. We had some Bad Religion. There was some No Effects. There was some Rancid being played in this movie, which kind of perked my ears up because I was really big into that at the time that this movie came out. Never heard of the movie, but I was really into those bands, so I found it I was shocked a little bit. I was like, bro, is he listening to Rancid? And then later on, I was like, is that Bad Religion? And I think the No Effects song was, it's like, don't please play the song on the radio. And I think it was in the credits.
It was in the credits. So, yeah.
I did watch the credits. I don't know why.
Wow.
I left the room.
That's because, no, I know why you watched the credits, Kevin, because the credits are 10 minutes on their own.
Is that what it was?
That is what it was, because I got to, and I was like, why is there 10 more minutes left on this movie? What is going on, movie? And so I watched the credits as well, including the after credit scene that I had never seen before, where I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know this existed. What the fuck? So
I had no clue. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, the after credit scene is a clown driving and just saying some gibberish.
What are you talking? That was Apocalypse Now, and that was Charlie Sheen as the clown.
I could not understand what he was saying or doing.
Oh, he was reciting Apocalypse Now.
Great
movie.
movie.
In the morning.
We should have watched that. Charlie Don't Surf. We should have watched that instead.
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Apocalypse Now. I'm pretty sure it was Apocalypse Now. Yeah, he was reciting Apocalypse Now as the clown, and I was like, "This might be the best part of the movie." What the fuck?
Yeah. I was really just befuddled.
Yeah, it was. I had never seen that before. I was like, why would anyone stay to watch 10 minutes of credits to see this? I don't know.
I don't know.
Why is there 10 minutes of credits? I still don't know. So for me, I did see this as a kid. I don't know why. I think it was just, I'm gonna sound like an old man for a minute, Kevin, just to set the stage for this. It was just that whole Blockbuster discovery, the rental discovery, you don't have the internet, you don't have people telling you what's good. So you just kind of go, you take a chance. Like, so we had a weekly routine on Friday with my father, and he'd be like, pick your movie. You get to pick one movie, and he'd pick two for himself because, he's a fucking adult, and that's how it goes.
You fucking adult. Your
and it was just
pick.
like, you could pick a game or you could pick a movie. And when I was out of games to play, I was like, I'm getting a fucking movie, because I already played all these games. The game section sucked at the time. It was like, well, there's 7. I played
Hollywood
7. Video
always had a superior games selection.
They did. And then like Blockbuster's like, we got to step it up and shit. And then it became like, you got to let me get a movie and a game, Dad. And he was just like,
Dad, I'll run away. Fucking try me. Your dad's
And
like, ooh, maybe I will.
yeah, so it's just like you know, the internet has spoiled us so greatly where you just now you could like just look up 900 fucking reviews and be like, nah, that movie's shit. I'm not
Well,
gonna waste my time
I
and
think, yeah,
listen
I
to a
think also how we
podcast.
view movies have
Yeah,
changed.
yeah,
You can
exactly.
people want to watch just schlock or just be snarky about a movie or sit around in a podcast with two dicks that probably say like 5,000 times in one episode and talk about movies.
That's
You
how I talk,
probably,
damn it.
hey man, I'm with you.
But I mean, just The Chase, for whatever reason, it was a movie that we had for all 5 days, and
Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure it's the scene that made it stick out in my mind because I was like, "Wow, this is cool." But then I started being like, "Wait a minute, how the fuck they did not crash that goddamn car? How the fuck?" And
Listen,
rewatching it, I still have that same question.
no,
But
it's because you have eyes in your head. And
yeah,
listen, I understand the attraction of this movie. I was never a big Charlie Sheen guy.
neither was I as a kid, but
Christy Swanson is a very attractive woman. Um,
she voted for Trump. Just want to ruin that for everyone.
what are you doing, dude? Why would you wait?
Just saying.
We're
It's
in
on
the
the Wikipedia for some reason at the very bottom. It just says that. I'm like, what the hell?
listen.
Huh.
Uh, Politics aside, because I'm not going to sit here and
No,
get into Charlie Sheen's fucking life, how he had like cat
I don't.
AIDS and didn't want to bang Lindsay Lohan, and she was like, "He's a weirdo, get him away from me." That's coming from Lindsay, by the way. Lohan,
I mean, Disney did that.
Lohan, low hand job.
Who cares?
Anyway, I could see it. This movie coming out in 1994. Her body's cranking, right? It's
Yeah.
banging. Like she, I couldn't gun to my head. I couldn't tell you. I had to really think if she was Buffy or not. But
Oh, I didn't remember until I was looking her up again. I was, oh wait, she is about because I was like, what else do I know her from other than Playboy? Because
well,
I know that my dad had that issue. And I was
oh,
like,
I
oh,
did too.
what
Shit.
else?
Wow.
Yes, I was just like, oh hey, lady from the Chase, you're in here.
Zip.
Welcome. I was
Mom,
like,
I don't feel good. I ain't going into
I ain't
school.
going to school today.
Work. What do I do? I'm whacking it.
What gets you to leave the house while I just inappropriately fondle myself?
I'm going to be outside dealing with the crabgrass or
Did
bush.
you know she's Buffy? They're
Your
like,
mom's like, "Are you whacking off? You fucking
first of all, where did you get that? Second of all, the fuck is wrong with you?
Second of all,
a lot of things.
you close the door to open a window. We're all outside enjoying lemonade, Dustin.
I'll be inside whacking it.
We see
Christy Swanson's Playboy magazine.
it's a window. I'm just whacking it to the cover of the Chase.
Could you close? Why would I? It's predominantly Charlie Sheen's face.
I don't think this wasn't the theatrical poster in 1994, was it?
The ripped banner one where
Yeah.
she's got her arm around him. No, that was the theatrical poster. It
Oh,
even
wow.
says theatrical release poster.
I didn't believe it because that sucks. I was like, "There's no way.
Yeah.
This sucks. This can't be it."
What else can you do? Do you put the car? Do you put
I
him
would have
with
quickly.
the hat? That horrible
Oh,
hat
I
that he
would-
wears?
I would have fixed this poster ASAP because this poster confused the shit out of me when I fired this movie up. I was like, all right. Nothing happened that I thought other than the road and a car.
That's what I was saying. What else do you put on this poster? Like his backstory? Do you do the clown? Because I mean, whoever did that clown
Backstory. How dare you bring up any fucking character progression in this fucking movie and had the balls to say backstory that this movie tiptoes around? Let's get into it. It's Jack
Well, hold on.
Hammond at a
I
gas
wasn't-
station.
I wasn't done with my nostalgia trip.
Oh, I thought, really? Wow. Everybody's just like, I'm getting nostalgia when you guys started this fucking
I don't
thing.
know why, but I just this movie resonated with me when I was a kid, and I think it was kind of the anti-media thing, and maybe the alternative rock music as it's labeled on the internet now. But yeah, I don't know, something about I was like, oh man, some of the snark, I was like, might have been damning to my personality at such a young age. I think I might have.
You need to write Adam a very strongly worded letter.
Yeah, Adam, thank you for making Small Soldiers. That was a real big piece of shit. He was just like, thanks? What the fuck, asshole? Anyway. Now I'm done. We can get into it.
Thanks for throwing the offspring on the soundtrack.
Thanks for no, I can't thank you for putting Red Hot Chili Peppers in it because that kind of I forgot about that and that upset me.
Bucket
Like
Epitaph Records.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Get
I
into
will
it.
say, out of your nostalgia picks, this is the worst. This made Rookie of the Year look like fucking Rosebud.
Out of my I have so many. Okay.
And this made Hackers look like Ben-Hur.
Okay, all right, I forgot that there's
I think that's your only two throwback ones. Like this, I don't think this qualifies as a movie. This is like
it definitely qualifies as a
I
movie.
think high school kids could have came up with something better than this.
It's got action, it's got romance,
Justin,
Henry Rollins.
It has things happening for about 97 minutes that make no sense. Nothing. Things happen, yet nothing happens.
When I fired up the movie and I saw him pulling into the gas station, I was like,
here we go.
Oh, right. The beginning of this movie doesn't make any sense. And it's our catalyst for the entire movie. I was like, that's probably going to be problematic later on. And it was until you got to the end where it was even more problematic.
I'll dig into this beginning half because this is really the only thing that is different from the next 45 minutes. And I just lose track of the middle to third act.
Yeah.
Second and third act goes just a blur. It's just fucking white lines on the road for me. It's just cars comfortably going 80 miles an hour, just relax.
Yeah.
So we start off
Tijuana.
No, I don't wanna. Charlie Sheen is one Jack Hammond. He pulls up in a little Volkswagen Rabbit into this gas station. Comes out, he's just real uncomfortable, on edge. He's very high strung, but he's trying to
put a hat that doesn't fit him and it looks like shit. You can't forget the hat. The hat
because it said HS on it. I thought it was a high school hat.
I don't know what is up with that hat.
Or maybe it just
someone wanted that hat in the movie, and that someone should be beaten to death with that hat.
Dude, listen, that hat is the last.
That's where all the problems begin, okay, is with that hat. Like, I saw the hat, and I was like, God, that fucking hat.
The only redeeming part of this is he's listening to Rancid when he goes in. I was like, that's odd. Something's up with this. I don't think that's his car. Yeah. He goes in. He just awkwardly just walks around. This scene takes so goddamn long. He goes to it's like really almost like a trucker gas station. It's not a cool, like, yeah, it has a weird look to it where it's not like a cool one with a bunch of cool drinks and stuff. It's just like a weird scuzzy one where I'm like, does this one have a trucker shower where you stay in there too long and you meet friends you won't forget?
Yeah, so he goes showers up front, Kevin. If you're using them without paying, that's theft.
Hey man, my friend was holding the door for me. He let me squeeze into his stall.
That's called prostitution.
Hey, that's called lifelong friends. The lifetime only adds.
The road ain't got no laws.
So he goes in there, he grabs like a Snickers, and he's just,
come on.
My bad, a Butterfinger that gets like 45 minutes of screen time. They block that shot so Butterfinger's in the background by his fucking head.
That was in the 90s when Butterfinger was God, okay? They had Simpsons. They had everyone fooled that was a decent candy bar. And I
was more of a Fifth Avenue guy when it came to that.
Listen, I hate Butterfinger because
you'll love Fifth Avenue.
Peanut butter. It should be good, but it's like, hey, how can we make peanut butter unenjoyable?
Justin, have you had a Fifth Avenue?
You know what? I'm gonna say I can't recall the last time I have.
Take the peanut butter great taste of a Butterfinger, but it's just butter.
But 100%. Make it like actually edible instead of like, ooh, a rock. I just bit into a rock.
Yeah. It's way more. I don't know. It's way more brittle. It's almost like a soft toffee type texture. It's better.
I mean, all right. I'm willing to try it, but it still sounds.
Yeah. Good luck finding one.
I'm just like, I have so many Reese's options that, do I need a crunchy or like a brittle type option?
People talk about the movie, not spewing
the
bullshit.
Butterfinger is part of the movie. Okay, they paid for some of the movie, obviously.
I just put him in a Butterfinger racing jacket or something. I don't know, just whatever. So he goes in there, grabs the Butterfinger. I think he grabs something else.
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes, yes.
$5 of gas. Which I was like, that's not going to get you to Tijuana. But I forgot, it's 94. That's like a full tank for that guy. So
Dustin, he was in a fucking Rabbit. That's barely a 10-gallon gas tank.
I know, that's what I'm
maybe
saying.
Maybe a 9, that's 8. The car's
$5
small as
is
hell.
filling the tank. I was
yeah,
like,
he's not going anywhere in is where I'm taking. Tanking. Now I'm saying tanking. Fuck this movie. Must be the tumor. And then, of course, when he puts his order in with the clerk, that guy pushes so many buttons. And I'm like, listen, dude, so many buttons.
It's just he never made eye contact. I was just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
The beeping. It's just like beep, bop, beep, beep, bop, bop, beep, beep.
And then when you hit the nickels,
beep, beep, and I'm like, listen, are you counting with that? Or like you...
He was going, no, wrong, void sale. Oh, no, I did it wrong again, void sale.
And I was like, dude, he just ordered.
You get 1 or 2 Butterfingers.
There's 3 things on this ticket. And then he goes to give him the fucking change. And I was like, listen, no one opens rolled coins that way. Oh, they went everywhere. And I was like,
open on the counter, you fucking day one fucking rookie.
Because the tension has been created that these 2 cops have pulled up to the gas station and they go in there and they're just like shooting the breeze. And they're like, and it just fucking, Jack's just shaking in his boots and stuff. He's trying to play it cool. And I was like, why don't you just walk away? Leave. Why don't you say,
did you need that fucking $3 and change back?
Yeah. I was like, listen, I don't know what he paid with, but I was just like, fuck it, dude. Like, just walk away. Go do his
It looked like a 5, but he somehow got $20 worth of shit and change back. I was just like, what the hell?
It was 94. Like, cigarettes were like 3 cents.
Apparently a nickel. He was just like, give me a nickel of smokes, this nickel Butterfinger, and $5 of gas. Here's a 20. Keep the change.
And so he's just sweating, and the cops are just like, they're trying to buy like fucking beer or something. And then all of a sudden, over their fucking radio, you just hear the fucking stolen Rabbit, the silver, this is the plates. And they kind of glance back and they go, hey, buddy, is that your whip? And he's like, no, I jogged here. I was like, why'd you say that? He's like, yeah, I'm just out for a stroll.
And then the guy who doesn't make eye contact that exploded nickels everywhere is just like, here's your change for pup number 5.
Pup number 5, you got 2 loosey-goosey smokes, a big old Butterfinger, and you got a little, just a Playgirl bag. There you go. Not Charlie Sheen. I was like, what the fuck?
Pleasure doing a scene with you today, sir. He's just like,
and then the cops just kind of look at each other, and then they look at him, and they look at each other, and they look at him, and I had no idea.
I thought you said you jogged.
He's like, I thought.
And then they keep looking for another 5 minutes.
And then in the background, thinking it's a goddamn library, fucking Christy Swanson's back there.
She's just like, give me my cue, guys. Give me my cue.
I'm Natalie Voss. She's back there going through Cosmopolitan. She's reading the fucking Vogue.
Why would a rich girl be sitting there at the worst gas station reading magazines she definitely had a fucking subscription for in the 90s because that was
the thing to have.
Yeah, you know, she's not gonna go buy some fucking used Vogue.
She's wearing like a sun hat. She's just like she looks like she's going to fucking like country club or something, but she's in a fucking jerk off gas station where all the rubbers taste like tacos. So you're like,
she's clearly there trying to pick up a scummy man to disappoint her father. Okay,
that's what I do. I hang out in dirty gas stations, look for a bum of a guy, and be like, "You're really gonna upset my pop."
And then she saw Charlie Sheen, and she was just like, "This guy will like, he hits all the boxes."
She's like, "I just want to buy these magazines, but this guy's." He's buying he's buying fucking Takis and
a Butterfinger
and a Gamer Fuel.
He's gonna fucking shit his pants so hard later on.
Nah, he's used to the heat. But then she walks up there and throws her magazines beside his order, and the cops are just like, "What?" Dustin,
Yeah, like no one has any fucking wherewithal of what's happening in this counter except for
I
Charlie
was
Sheen.
completely confused. I was like, "Is this an inside job? Is he going to rob this?" And she's the plant, and she went to scout it, and she gave him the go ahead to come and pick me up
No,
at the dirty jack off gas station. I was like, "Are
it's
they?"
just the 90s. Apparently, that's how you do. You just roll up. You're like, "Hey, I'm putting my shit down," without saying "excuse me," and like, now
Dude,
go fuck
I
yourself.
thought they were literally. I thought they were going to be a Bonnie and Clyde couple. That's what I thought this movie was about.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
go
yeah,
around.
because they have that weird, awkward glance that they later bring up, and I was like, "Don't bring
No,
that
dude,
was not
they're eye
romance."
fucking each other. The posters got her hugging, and I was like, "What the? They're a couple, right? They're just Bonnie and Clyde, and they do one last job, and this is the chase, and they're off to Mexico." And the movie's like, "What, dude? That sounds get out of here. We
No,
got time for that. We do.
we do, but we didn't think of that. We really wanted to like slam home the point that the media is bad.
We just wanted to really just kind of just cruise control with the audience. We just wanted to hang out, man. Just hang
We
with
just
the hang
wanted to give Henry Rollins so much goddamn screen time,
so much.
saying nothing of relevance, nothing. And I'm pretty sure he put his entire hand up Charlie Sheen's ass at the end of the movie.
Well, spoiler, dude.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
got to tune in for something.
to look forward
Everyone.
to. Yeah, so she's there now. She's close by because I mean, clearly that's what happened. They were like, what's his face? Adam was writing this, and he was like, "Well, how do I get her
How do I
close
get
enough
her in
where
a,
he
how
can
do I
grab
get her
her?
in a gas station?"
How do I get her in a gas station?" We casted Christy Swanson, you say? I'd like to see her in her bra for sure. I mean,
For sure.
I don't know if I can swing an R in a car, but
Maybe a sun.
God, it rhymes. So,
Yeah, so this is like the worst interaction here. And then the cops, they're like, they go to pull their fucking hammer on both. They both go to pull their guns, and Jack grabs fucking Natalie, pulls the butterfinger that he kind of already, we watched go in his back pocket for 30 minutes.
yeah,
He pulls that out low key behind his jacket and puts it in her back, right?
yeah.
And then someone told it's a black cop and a white cop, and someone told the white cop to emote so hard.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Mad TV skit, dude. And I was like, is this a comedy? Is this a comedy?
That guy was great. His face was amazing.
His face. It was almost like
he was like, "Come on, buddy," just like shaking his face. I was
Dustin,
like, "What are you doing?"
His face looked like he was in a dark room. He stepped in Jello, didn't know what it was. It tickled and yet surprised him. And then someone put electrical wire up his pee hole, and then they all turned on the lights and the power, and we saw his face. That's exactly the reaction he had.
And he was just like, "Oops, I didn't know there's other people here." Sorry,
he was
about
embarrassed
that,
yet entertained all at the same time. And then the black cop's like, "Fucking drop it, dude." He's like, "I'm gonna blow her head off. Whatever. She's my hostage. I'm getting out of here." He's like, "We'll get you anything you want." They're already negotiating with him, and I'm like, "Well, what happened?"
No,
they're not in on it
like,
together.
And I was like, "Pull your guns. Pull your Los Angeles police. Pull your guns."
They're
like,
Newport Beach.
Not at this part. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. Still, you're in the county of LA. Pull those guns. Okay?
Dude.
Come on. It's the 90s. You're pulling jammies. You're not fucking leaving them holstered.
Dude, it doesn't have to be the 90s. They pulled them all the time. Anytime.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying
they're pulling them right now as we
speak
speak somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, especially in the 90s, Rodney King and everything. It's not like they were like, "Oh, we're definitely not pulling these guns out." Like, no, they like had a reputation.
They end up, the guns
shoot,
do
shoot,
come
shoot.
out. Because
Maybe.
now we get the fucking, he's like,
Nickel.
"Keep those guns over here."
Pele. And that's how I learned who Pele was from this movie. I'd never heard of him before.
They tell the cops to get they tell the cashier to get with the cops, and he's like, the cops put the guns down. Cashier, kick him over there. And this, guys, is what we call physical comedy.
At its finest.
The fucking cashier kicks the fucking guns all the way down the hall of the aisle.
But twice.
And everyone looks at the
booze cooler.
Yeah, everyone looks at the gun slide. He's like, "No, dingus, kick him to me, not across the fucking room." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So he runs over there, and then he kicks him back. And he kicks him back to the cops.
He's nervous.
And I'm like, is this funny? This is angering me.
It's so dumb. It's good.
No.
I'm not gonna lie. I laughed again seeing that. I was just like, this is so stupid.
It takes 10 minutes for this joke to land. And then,
Yeah. So then the cops go to pick him back up,
and
and
he's
he's
like,
just like, oh no. He's just like, all right, put him in my pocket. And he's like, barrels first.
yeah, and I thought that what I thought was going to happen is he was going to take the fucking Butterfinger and hit the fucking cashier in the head with it. He's like, you fucking idiot. And then now he's got the two guns. Now he's like, fuck it. But he's still wrestling. He's still wrestling Natalie out of the exit. They start fucking fumbling everything. A gun falls, shoots fucking across the room. One of the guns discharged. Doesn't it shoot something funny or doesn't it?
Shoots a Slurpee machine. So
Shoots a Slurpee. Ha ha ha. And
they're like, whoa, buddy, whoa, no one wants to get hurt. Come on now. And he's just like, yeah.
And the white cop is just around. Like, I'm gonna.
Oh man, he's like wet himself, running in a circle. Yeah, he's running. He's running a circle like Homer on the floor. He's like, whoop, 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 whoop.
I wish he would have done that. Then I'd have been like, okay.
He was great. He was not in the movie enough. So
no, he was in the movie too much. And I think Adam is a very poor director because he should have been, hey man, tone it down.
He was probably like, I love this guy's energy.
You got a real Gallagher energy going on right now. We need you to mute it a little bit because you're blowing up the scene.
So Jack steps out with Natalie. He shoots out the tire. No one's affected by the loud sound of a tire popping. He would have been.
It stays loud. It stays in war zone.
Yeah, he gets into her car, and they take off in a beamer.
Yeah, she's got like a fucking. I didn't see what kind of beamer it was.
Oh, they tell you it's a Model 3.
Oh, M3? Those are sick. So that's how they stood ahead of the cops.
Every car person that watched this movie will talk about when the cars change from it comes from this beamer to that beamer to that beamer to this beamer. I was just like, all right, calm down. Like,
hey man, they're beamer guys and gals out there.
Yeah. So now Jack's on the run, and he's decided he's telling her, he's like, I'm really not a bad guy. I wish I hadn't, I got to kick this habit. If I hadn't stopped for smokes, none of this would have happened. So he's talking about the car and everything. He starts the cigarette lighter. And so Natalie is like,
eyeballing the cigarette lighter. Because everyone back in the day, there were cigarette lighters in cars.
Yeah. Crazy. Now they just have a power port because that's what we used it for. But, and then we cut to Henry Rollins and Joss Mostel's characters, just two kind of like unnamed police officers. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They don't really refer to them by their names.
Cop 1 and 2.
Yeah. And they are on a cops type show being filmed, and they're talking about, Newport, they got everything, the drugs, the prostitution, murders, lots of murders.
And it's really the easiest going, like, beach town ever. So it's real that juxtaposition.
Yeah. And the joke is because Newport sucks. So, like, especially compared to other beach towns.
Well, it's all like rich white people out there, so it's all bougie. The big joke here, everyone, there's a show called Cops that came on back in the day where they followed a bunch of cops.
Just got canceled last year.
No, dude, it got canceled a long time ago when some bad cop ships happened, like for the time.
No, I mean,
I'm talking like syndication. Yeah, it's always running.
No, it was still running up until last year.
Dustin, I don't care about cops.
Finally ended. So you should care because they'll shoot you in the streets. Unless we got any cop listeners, in which case, then they'll shoot you.
Thank you for your service. Jesus.
I'm not gonna fucking say that. Stand by my
sarcasm.
Anyway.
So when you film a show, I don't understand. I was like, why is there like just a shoulder cam sitting in the back and this dude's got to have this fucking heavy ass camera on his shoulder? I go, this cop car's not set up with any cameras, any dash cams, like anything like that?
No, that's how they filmed cops back then.
Did they?
Yeah. No,
that sounds horrible for the camera operator.
Yeah. No, it was. And he had to chase them too. That's why it was a shoulder cam so they could get out of the car and follow them.
Jeez, I guess I never really watched Cops.
Yeah. No, it was.
I felt bad for that guy the whole time. I was just like, he looks so uncomfortable.
You should feel bad for the real guy that had to do it. So
shout out to all the real camera operators that had to run shotgun or back seat or whatever they had to do.
Yeah. Now I don't think the producer would have actually been there. I
I
think that was
doubt
more
it.
of just a crony of some
Yeah,
kind.
probably.
So, but this guy's he's Hollywood. He's all Hollywood.
And
red sunglasses, just
yeah,
real shit.
He's a '90s rock star, real scumbag.
Yeah,
and they just kind of they it just pretentiously overhyped this area as being so crime ridden, and it's clearly not. That's the haha.
yeah.
And they're kind of just, well, what do you guys do? Oh, we do this and that, and they don't do anything because nothing happens. That's the whole joke, right? You won't laugh. You'll just kind of go, what? I'm confused.
No, I never liked these scenes. Like I understood them as a kid, like, oh, this is a breakup because like, the flow, you can't just sit in that other car the whole time.
I think you could have, Dustin, and that's
boring.
Why I super hate this movie, because there's so many other things I would have just was ready to endure other than cutting to these other characters that do not move the story. No, and I say story
loosely.
The
story is we're going to be in a car going towards Mexico for the rest of this movie.
And there's no character development. There's nothing going on. And there's these other characters around this movie narrative in the car, loosely say. And we're forced to go to these other characters all the time that do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's
just a part of the movie. It's like, here's the thing. So I have this weird nostalgia for it, because like I said, for some reason I watched it more than a few times as a kid.
Dude, you watched it with your dad. You had a good moment. Yeah. It was the sense of the adventure.
Rated R? Is this rated R?
Nope.
All right. Well, let me watch this PG-13 movie.
Yep.
So
age appropriate.
Yeah, no, I wasn't probably. Or
there's nothing
I was
bad.
Probably close. But,
there's nothing bad in the movie. It's not violent.
At the end, he gets when he's daydreaming and he gets shot to shit. So, like,
yeah, I guess that's kind of where the 13 would come in, but it's very brief.
Yeah, but no, by no means do I feel that this is a good movie. It's an interesting idea, and I did pick up how anti car chase media it was, but then I was just like, man, LA didn't learn anything from this movie, because that's like the number one reason to watch the local news in LA is because it's still just car chase scenes. And I kind of wondered, did a lot of people watch this movie and think, I could do that? I could drive to Tijuana and bang along the way.
No one watched this movie.
I mean, I think they did, Kevin, because it has a bit of a cult following, according to Rollins. So
you know what, man? Anybody that says something has a cult following is an idiot.
Well, Henry Rollins is an idiot. You hear that, everybody?
Henry Rollins, right. Listen, he's great in Portlandia. Like when people say that, yeah, man, the movie's been out for 20 plus years. You can say that about anything that has a cult following. And like we talked about earlier, we view things so differently here that, yeah, somebody can go back at this movie and have the same experience you did with nostalgia. Nostalgia is a hell of a fucking drug. Yeah. And I get it. Everyone has it, right? To some extent. So I'm not like busted your balls, but about liking the movie, it's fine to like it. Is it a good movie? No way. No how. Not even on an accident or a bad day. Is it a good movie?
Maybe on a bad day. Come on.
It's literally shit on the screen for 97 minutes, and then it just stops abruptly.
It's easy viewing, though.
No, dude, it wasn't. I was fucking hating it. I begged for something to happen to make me laugh.
Well, let's get to something that happened. The cigarette lighter pops. Natalie goes for it, jams it into Charlie Sheen's neck. The most hardcore of hardcore things to do.
Dustin, I don't know if you've ever been burned.
Yeah, I was like, that car's crashing.
I remember when I was younger, my friend's mom, her car had one of those, and we clicked it. Dustin, that thing gets hot as fucking hells.
My father's a smoker. I fucking know how hot that thing gets.
Dustin,
I've dropped that thing in the car, and we pulled over immediately.
And he beat you to hell?
Yeah, he was just like, you're never allowed to touch that again.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. It's literally a piece of the sun in your hand.
It's molten lava.
It is.
In a fucking little black cap that fucking you feel everything. Dude, and you're just like, smoking is disgusting.
If you drop it on the floor, it eats through the fucking car right through the street.
You have a hole, and now you have a rust spot. So hope it doesn't destroy the rest of the car.
She takes this Dustin and grinds it into his neck. This should have went through his neck, Mortal Kombat 11 style, and shot out the other side. And dead. They should have killed him.
Fucking misery and pain. Yeah, there's no way that road trip is continuing. Okay, or love
to the hospital is
blossoming in the air. Yeah, she's getting pushed out of the car, and he's going to a hospital with those guns and saying, fix me now. Okay?
Or at least a veterinarian.
Instead, they take a red pin. Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, he's pulling a fucking T3, and he's just like, I'm off the grid, so I got to use veterinarian offices after hours.
Rub that cat ointment that they put on their nuts when they meow too much.
What do you mean this is the same as human medicine?
Sir, we don't have an ointment we rub on cats' nuts to make them stop meowing. He's like, well, just give me some Friskies.
Give me some Friskies and someone rub my balls.
What's got into that cat? Me!
Sir, you seem to only have one ball. That's why nobody loves me. I'm the one nut man.
That's why I'm here. I'm looking for extra cat balls.
Gross. But, yeah, it said we just get this red circle drawn on Charlie Sheen's neck. Like, dude, it's not even good makeup. It's not even consistent makeup.
Pencil did that. That the chicks, and she drops it, and it smokes like
it burns the
dry ice
because it should. It's fucking molten lava. So, but that circle, although it stays on the whole movie, and I applaud them for at least that.
That shit is so hot, it would have melted down a fucking T800.
Oh, for sure. That scene of T2, that's literally just they're making cigarette lighters.
I saw that, and I was like, how is this movie not over? How has he not killed her and just wrecked the car out of sheer... He would have passed out from the pain, dude. There's no way
he would not... Like, that's how I'm saying that car would have fucking flipped and rolled, man. Like...
Dude, like, if she would have, like, poured her
you touch me with, like, a hot sunglasses while I'm driving, we're all dead. And he's just like, no, I got this.
Yeah, dude. If she would have, like, poured some coffee on his nuts and chopped him in the throat, like, I would have been like, oh, she tried to fight him and he said, please stop. Okay. But that was just, like, some Faces of Death shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, it falls into the seat, starts smoking. Now... he's crossed paths with our police officers. They're like, we got him. There he is. We're going after him. He's swerving everywhere. And then they hit some traffic. And he's just like...
Not really.
Like, supposedly hit some traffic. Okay. And Charlie Sheen's like, we got to go through the park. And my favorite scene is that guy that like ran kind of towards the car. Like a video game character was just like, and then like pivots and like fucking dives out of the way. I was like, what the fuck was that? And then Henry Rollins tried to kill some people that day driving that car.
Yeah, we just keep cutting back and forth to the cops, and the cops are just saying idle bullshit of like...
It's like so overly aggressive meathead shit that it becomes so...
white noise, man.
Yeah, well, it's so far past satire at that point where you're just like...
It's annoying.
Yeah,
I found it annoying.
I was like, man, Henry Rollins, I know you can't act, but like... Jesus criminy, man. Like, you can't act. Like, I like you, but, like, maybe you should just not do the acting. And he's like, I'm going to have a long career, Dustin. I'm like, well, fair enough. Fuck me, right? Fuck me. So, and yeah, so we kind of just deal with this eventually. He's just like, get the fucking lighter. And then she gets it and she throws it out the window. He's like, don't throw it out the window. I still need it. And because we're supposed to care that
he's a smoker, Dustin. Yeah. I never saw him grab the cigarettes. I thought they were on the counter still. So
no, he made sure he got them. No, actually, I don't think he ever does. Actually,
I don't think that he does either. Because I could have swore they're in the scene.
They show up.
Fair enough.
Why didn't he just ask for matches? I mean, come on, classic.
I don't know. I'm not a smoker. I didn't feel the struggle.
Every smoker I know that's bothering to buy them from a fucking gas station gets fucking cigarette or gets matches with
gets cigarette starters.
I mean, maybe that's just because of the area I'm in and the people that are here. Yeah, scummy. Yeah, scumbags always get matches because they don't know where they're gonna be to smoke them. So
Jesus. All the smokers out there that happen to be cops too, sorry.
they're just like, God, these guys are really going for me.
I thought we were beating up the chase, not me, the fucking viewer, listener.
And
I
I
get it.
happen and I happen to enjoy Henry Rollins' acting, so that's I'm gonna take that one with me too, you
Hey
fucks.
man, he's got a better action career than I do.
Mm. He's got he's got a better writing career than most people do. So he's got a better stand-up career than most people do. Anyway,
Dude, he's a multi-talented man. He writes, he fucking directs, he does it all. Let's fucking God
he
bless
does
Henry
it all,
Rollins.
not fucking well, but he does it all.
Dude, you can't bust anybody's balls on acting because when Christy Swanson talks, I'm just like, did someone just feed you that line?
Yeah,
She talks like she's 12 years old, and I'm like, this is so
and it's such an easy character. You're playing a brat. Like, doesn't seem like it's that far of a stretch for you,
Well,
like,
when Jack's character or Charlie's character, Jack starts talking, I'm like, is this supposed to be an inner monologue that he's just saying out loud?
yeah,
he's speaking out loud, and he's speaking like she's not even in the car with him. And I'm like, what does he do? Is he talking to the audience? I was so confused. And I was like, no, this is just horribly delivered.
yeah.
And then her retort to everything, like, well, what are you doing?
Let me out here. I'm like, do you know how a car chase sees? What do you think he just stops and everyone says time, hold on, okay, resume? No, like you're a hostage. Like
it's all cringy, and it's not even like good schlock where I'm just like, she has no acting talent. It's so bad it's good, and just, oh god, look at this just awful scene. I'm just like, this is fucking sucks. What is this?
Yeah, So I mean, and that's what starts to happen. So he starts giving this extra.
That's what starts to happen. The movie just kicks into high suck right there.
Yeah, no, it really does. So he's just like, I'm not actually a bad guy. I just have the worst luck. And then he just kind of he begins the woe is me journey of his character, and then we cut to the police station, and we go to the I don't know, the techie nerd guy who comes in. He's just like, Chief, and the chief is yelling at this woman that's crying, and he's just like, you can't just go around discharging your fucking weapon. And I was like, what no, I want to see that movie.
It's literally another movie we cut to.
It's because it's just like the most average looking woman ever. Like, she looks like just someone's mom that showed up that day and could cry and command, kind of, and they were like, you're a police officer.
Okay, so all right, you describe this scene. I got an opinion about how this is presented as well.
Okay, so he's like, Chief, we've identified the car. It's Natalie Vaughn's car, and this is where we're introduced.
Boss like the water.
No, it's. Oh, you're right, boss. Okay, sorry. Getting my bosses and Vaughn's confused. And he's just like, who's that? And she's like, Dalton Voss's daughter. And he's like, Dalton Voss? The fucking Donald Trump of the fucking West Coast? Because that's what they bill him as.
Industrialist.
Yeah. And he's running for governor. This all hits too close to home here in 1994, looking at it with the 2021 eyes.
You hear that, Gavin? We're going to recall you. He's like, whoa.
He's like, hey, that initiative failed, okay? Let's just forget about those dinners and all those favors I gave, all right?
What about your shit in Napa? Your vineyards are still going through the pandemic. Fuck you.
I said forget about all that.
He's like, okay? I'm rich. Calm down.
Focus in on the person, that super corrupt person I hired. Focus on that. Please. They're real bad. I mean, I hired them, but like, anyway, gotta go fuck off now. And so the chief is just like, oh no, not Dalton Voss's daughter. Get me our helicopter. He's just like, Chief, it's not here. The film crew's using it. He's like, well, who the fuck said they could do that? He was like, you did, because we weren't using it. And I was just like, oh, Chief, you found yourself in a pickle. And that's kind of the end of the scene. So is there something else you wanted to say about this scene?
Yeah, so this scene sucks entirely because
for sure.
When we go to the police station, like, where does the
policing?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of guys standing around, right?
Kevin,
There's
we already met their best two officers, okay? It was fucking Waka Waka face and like, hey buddy, calm down. What do you need? What do you want? What can I
no,
get you?
not even that. It was more of like when we see the chief, it's just I'm like, where's the intensity coming from? Where's the threat, right? What's the opposition? So I assume the cops are just going to chase down my protagonist and, bring him to justice, even though he's been wrongfully accused. And so I assume the cops are kind of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And they're the very first police officer pops up and he just dumps all this exposition. He's like, "Hey, chief, looks like this guy's over here and he's got the thing." So he starts lining up the movie that we just saw. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, why are you explaining the movie to the chief? Just
Because in
just
case
tell him."
someone rolled into the movie theater late, Kevin, and they're like, what's going on?
The only person that was watching this part was the guy sweeping the fucking floor from the early showing, and it's already played 7 times over, and no one bought a ticket. He's like, "Yeah, I'm still cleaning up this popcorn pile."
He's just like, man, this movie's got a lot of exposition.
But it doesn't move the story along, and
No.
that's another problem when we go to these cops that are staying in the police station.
Well, these cops are
No,
useless.
nothing, nothing is done with them. Nothing happens. It's
No, they're
just
watching it on TV like
yeah,
we
they're just
are.
watching it
Like, what the
unfold.
fuck?
And then I'm just going to get to this part. There's a bunch of newscasters, a bunch of news stations that
Yeah.
take over, dramatizing the whole situation. I don't know if you kids ever remember, there's a guy named OJ Simpson. There was a big thing where
This
we were,
actually happened before that.
so this is very parallel. Maybe it was a precursor. So it's kind of how we romanticize these things and glamorize them and all this stuff, I assume,
Yeah.
because
Well,
the
and
movie.
I mean, that's what the director said, though, is that he was trying to pretty much make it absurd, the links that in which like the media would go to cover these car chases and like their spin on everything and how like that was like his genuine like attempt at that. And it's not that I don't think some of that's not actually good. It's just it's not presented in a way that's
It's
like
not
I said.
pres
It's like with Henry Rollins, where it's like it's so far past satire
well,
because of how it's being
so
presented. You're like,
it's fine, but you're taking this lengthy car chase. You got to present your idea or what you're trying to broadcast within a narrative, right?
yeah,
And that's the problem. There's no narrative here. It's just a series of events. Like if you would have made an interesting character in Jack and how he's trying to overcome these things and break through this, persecution, or how the media views him, or how he was set up and all these other things, and he's pulling this situation to the forefront that we can all witness him kind of just defeat. He's like, "You know what? I'm not going to be a part of all this." Because if he didn't want to sensationalize it, why didn't he just pull over and let her out?
yeah.
You know what I mean? It was very contradicting in that aspect of like, well, you
Well,
say
it's trying
you're
to do two things. It's trying to do like, oh, the injustice and in the criminal justice system, but then also like, hey, look at how crazy the media is about this shit. You know?
yeah, but I don't ever know anything about Jack. I just get these little droplets of information
Well, he's
that
from the Bay Area,
he's the red
and
nosed robber.
he's a red-nosed robber because he could only get a job as a clown at kids' parties. And then whoever did the makeup had never seen a clown before, and they used this really greasy, oily paint, and it was disturbing. So,
Yeah,
but that's we're too far ahead now. But
are we?
so we go back to the chase. After the park scene, Natalie's not feeling well, and he's just like, "Don't puke in here. Hold your head out the window."
I just saw
And
the
the cops are
dailies.
like,
Just got nauseous.
the cops are like, she's trying to signal us. What is she trying to tell us? And then puke hits the windshield
Dustin,
because
not just some puke. I was like, what did
all
she
of
eat?
puke.
She
Like,
ate 5 buckets of gack, or
yeah, I was just like,
Nickelodeon slime.
they're no, definitely Gak, the knockoff.
Kids Choice Awards. Thanks, Natalie. They just hang her in the rafters.
Rollins shows up. He's just like, "I'll fucking accept." They're just like, "All right, we didn't ask you to, but okay." Yeah, I was just like, "There's no way she was eating that." Okay, unless like Crafty was bad that day. So she hits him with the puke, and then he's got to figure out how to get on the highway, and so he does. To get on the highway, And now they're on the highway doing more. And then that's when he gets a phone call because she's got a cell phone in the car. This is very advanced shit for 94. All right. The cops have called him and he's just like, hey, what's, Jack on the phone here. Or I think he says like Domino's Pizza or some shit.
No, he's like, thanks for calling Domino's. Comedy. I was just like,
oh, Charlie Sheen, you've done it again. You should really have done a third hot shot. I thought they didn't make
contact to him until I thought they made contact with him when Dalton shows up at the police station.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah.
Because they backtrack, and once they kind of find out where the...
Well, they get on the highway, and then they go back to the police station, I think.
Because when they go back to the police station, they're like, we need to send more cars out there. And he's like, boss, will you have a couple more cars?
Oh, yeah, because there's a joke about a dead cop, and they're just like, well, fucking get them off the fucking funeral. Get them out there.
And then you meet Dalton Voss and his wife. What was the wife's name?
Yeah, fucking second wife. It doesn't matter.
Was it Francis?
Jesus, you really.
Yeah. No, that was Natalie's mom. Oh, it was Yvonne Voss or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, because again, they're doing this like Donald Trump parallel in the 90s. So
little horse shit.
Yeah.
The only part of the movie I chuckled was this scene. So it's kind of real.
Wait, when the mom shows up? Because the mom shows up second.
No. The stepmom and the dad.
Oh, okay.
They come into the police station. It's real, just, they're just marching, this imperial march coming through, and everyone's making way for them. They're being escorted by cops. And the mom, she's like, what's that smell? This place stinks. I laughed. Yeah. And I was like, man, this movie
keeps saying, she's like, what's that smell? What is that?
She fucked it up. Like, she fucked up because she said once, she's like, what's that smell? Like this stinks. This place stinks. And I laughed. And then she said something else. It's gross. I was like, shut up. She fucked up. She kept going in on it. I was like, I would have gave you one. And I chuckled. And then you said something again. And I was like, nah, you ruined it. So I took back my chuckle.
I take this back.
Mm-hmm.
This is mine again.
And then
so they go to the video camera footage and they do the classic enhance. They get the fucking convenience stores footage already, and the guy zooms in, gets a perfect picture of Charlie Sheen, matches the mugshot. We got him. I'm sorry.
What technology were they using in 1994?
Fucking in the 90s, nothing to deliver a picture that fucking clear. You can't get that clear.
8K fucking. I was just like,
that was. Here's the thing, Kevin. This movie, I think you'll agree with me, looked like it was filmed on a camcorder.
It looked like it was filmed on a juice box, Dustin.
Yeah, it's not a good. Like, that was the most noticeable thing where I was like, this is a very ugly movie.
It's not a good looking
quality wise.
Really quick, in all honesty, it's not filmed well. It's an ugly movie. And when I say it's not filmed well, there's no sense of tension or action with any of the car chase scenes or the little car wrecks that are sprinkled throughout. There's no sense of energy or movement. It's just a real static two-shot of like them in the cab and maybe some cars moving around their perimeter. And it's almost like a sitcom. I feel like it's blocked like a TV show. And I was like, God damn, this is so boring and ugly to watch. There's no like tight shots of the wheels and push in on them. There's no sense of speed or action, and it fucking made it feel so long.
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely agree with all that. But it's just like, but overall though, I'm also going to just go back into it. Like, it's a very ugly movie. Like, it's very grainy. It's grainy as fuck. But then we get to this fucking video camera footage, and that was the crystal clearest this entire movie is the entire time, is them using this bullshit technology of just like fucking super resolution at Adobe. They're just like, we had it early. We had it in 94. Deal with it.
This is why when people want security in the real world, everyone's like, go get cameras. Get cameras. I'm like, cameras don't do shit.
They don't do this. They definitely don't do this. They don't prevent anything, but they also don't do this. You're going to look at it and be like,
someone broke into my car. Get the camera footage.
Can I see it? I bet I know the fucker.
Footage, you watch too much TV, motherfucker. That's not how these work.
It's not. No. Like, even it's like, if you want that type of footage, you need to have high-tech machinery
You got
running that,
cyber eyes,
recording that,
motherfucker. You need to be
and
cyborg for fucking.
who's paid for the fucking power? Yeah, even Cyborgs is like, man, I'm hacking into all these fucking security cameras. And all the footage is really shitty. Like, why do we have so many of these up? Super shitty. I'm hitting enhance. It's not doing nothing. Nothing at all.
Hollywood lie to me.
Yeah. So then they print this beautiful image of Charlie Sheen off.
Just to hand it to him, going, this is his mugshot. This is who he pulled up.
This is the man.
Get that motherfucker off my screen.
Yeah. He's like, I don't even want to see him. Get more police out there. And then we go back, and then I think that's when the cops have called him, and they're like, hey, you know. I think that's when Charlie Sheen finds out. He's just like, he's like, who are you? You know, he's talking to her, and she's like, I'm Natalie Vaughn, her boss.
Boss.
God, I know. I'm sorry. I'm Natalie Voss. And he's like, like Dalton Voss? She's like, yes, he's my father. He's like, fuck. They're going to think I kidnapped you because of who you are. Not just because you were just like trying to pick up sleazeballs in the gas station. I happened to pick you.
You're just forcing men at the fucking counter to read Vogue magazine to you. Can you not read?
Can you not? You can definitely not. And so he's just like, fuck, he's like, gotta have the worst fucking luck. Woe is me part 2. You know, he's establishing he has a pattern of bad luck.
Did you want to sprinkle in some of the comedy where the cadaver van goes in front of them?
Oh my God, we have to do that because that part did make me laugh.
I almost stopped the
that's
movie
when they first get on the highway. He makes a cadaver van start swerving. The door pops open. Cadavers for days. For days. People are running over people's heads.
Because
I was like,
Dustin,
this
you know,
is
you
so
load cadavers like fucking chopped wood, and you just throw them in there and don't lock the door.
I mean, okay, they definitely do lock the door, but I do have a feeling. Come on, we've worked in workplace. You think the cadaver people, like, careful guys, don't stack all these dead people on top of each other.
Justin,
we had
they stack them the other way so they don't roll out. You know what I mean?
The truck was swerving, Kevin.
Justin,
they're gonna find a way out.
No, absolutely not. Don't. Okay. No movie.
Someone who transports cadavers, please chime in the comments.
Who's loading that many frozen dead bodies and dropping them? Like, that's not.
They're going to a medical school for them to practice on. Okay.
Yeah, I get it. I know that's a thing, but why did the car just keep swerving? Why did it just pull over?
He lost control, man.
No one loses control for 20 minutes, just making it an S on the highway.
He was
and the cops weren't like, the cops
saw one fall out, and he was like, "No, we're going for broke, or I'm getting fired." Whoa.
It was just they're just running them over, and I'm just like, that's not how that. None of this would happen. No,
those cars would be toast at just hitting one of those fucking things,
or they'd be just dragging these bodies under the front wheel well. The cops in this they're not even a set piece. They're not even incompetent. They're massively borderline. Just
they're bumbling.
They're cardboard cutouts, dude. I've seen your stickiest TV cop and the lamest comedy would just, Carl Winslow could have caught these guys. You know what I mean? Like,
he's just like, thank you. I'm
a damn good cop. John McClane, met him. Have you? I'm like, no, Carl, you got me. So when the cops they never try to overtake the vehicle. They don't do spike strips. And I know
fuck, he's getting on the highway. This is really bad.
And I know
Kevin, you forgot my favorite part, though. Okay, the cadaver part.
I didn't.
No, you did, because one lands on the windshield, and the guy riding a shotgun, who some people might recognize as the principal from Billy Madison, has to reach out and he hits it with his billy club, and then he has to pull it, and he's like, eh, and he's making this face like he's touching shit. He's just like, eh. He pulls it off, and I gotta admit, that fucking shit made me laugh, because I was just like, dude, you're a fucking professional, you asshole. Like, come on.
So, I didn't get it. I was like, what
It's
this?
just so stupid. Like I'm laughing at it because of how bad it is, not because it's good. It's just like
Well, yeah,
it's funnier for me because I'm just like, what the fuck movie?
like
Like, why did I watch this movie so many
like
times?
Jesus, I don't know. Like tonally, I could never tell what the comedy wanted to be because it was
Just
doing almost this weird gross out humor with the bodies. But then another cop's yelling at another cop, and then there's a puke on a. I'm like, is that funny? And then he's kicking the guns across the floor, and it's kind of a waka moment. And I like, is this a comedy or is this just a
it's
bunch of
comedy
dumb
101.
assholes? No, it's no. This is no one's teaching this anywhere to anyone.
No, he was doing a master class. He's like, I got it all. You want fucking cadaver jokes? I got them.
I think the
Fucking
clown in the
puke, I got
story
'em.
is a mirror to the audience. that's, that's how I felt. I
That
was like,
clown is so gross
I was
looking.
like,
I
you
was
got
like,
me, movie. I
it's
am
like
that
they
clown.
didn't under like clowns have fucking it's I don't know their makeup's not oily intentionally.
Yeah, dude.
They make them really hot. So I was just like, who did this?
No one
He
cares.
looks like a fucking murderer. So all right, finally getting back into it. So then they call Jack on the car phone. He answers. He's like, oh shit, like car phone, amazing quality for '94. Um, and then they break it down, and they're just like, "Come on, what do you want for her? Like, get her out." And then Dalton jumps on. He's just like, "I'll give you this much money." He's just like, "That's all your daughter's worth to you?" And you can see,
$50,000.
yeah. And this is the only part where Christy Swanson does some acting, and she's kind of making this face of like, "Oh,
Real pouty.
daddy," yeah, real pouty. Like it's believable. And then they just start ripping into her. He's just like, I swear I don't know where your head's at, Natalie. And then just like,
Why did you go to a place where your car needed petrol?
yeah, it's like this real weird moment, and she's just
Listen,
like,
it makes no sense. It's not.
it
A
makes
real
no sense.
moment.
Why would she bring up stepmom on the like? What does this have to do with
Why
anything?
is
Why is the stepmom like? I got beef with my stepmom. It's just like what?
They wouldn't have the family just yelling at her in a hostage
No.
situation.
Even
There'd
if
be
you're a
someone
billionaire,
negotiating
you'd be
her
like, shut up,
release.
sir. Yeah,
There'd
it
be a
definitely wouldn't
trained
be the
professional.
bullshit chief of police who's on the stairmaster in his office.
Yeah, the chief of police is like, hey, you ever have lobster mac and cheese? It's fucking excellent. And I'm like,
Put
he's
some fucking
right.
bacon on it. It's amazing.
This
You're
is
just like,
the
all right, fucking.
You worthless fuck.
He's like,
And
I
then
know some good taco places too. Hit me up later, Charlie.
and then just he's like, oh well, my name's Jack. And then
No,
the
I'm talking to Charlie the actor, not Jack the character.
uh,
Oh,
like,
are we still rolling? Oh, fuck, I'm a professional. I'm a professional. It's okay. It's okay. Let's roll again. Roll again.
fast and
Oh,
loose.
still rolling. Still rolling. Got it.
And I was just like, why are the parents here to stress her out? Like, at least if it was like a minute, hey, can I talk to my daughter? And she's like, yeah, daddy, I'm here. And he's like, it's gonna be okay, baby. We're gonna give this maniac, and I think he wants to get you safe. And then that's it. And then the guy's just like, yeah, $50,000.
Instead, Charlie Sheen has to tell him to fucking lay off on her.
No, Charlie Sheen turns into Dr. Phil, and I'm
It's like she's going through some fucking trauma. Damn it! I got sent
why
her
don't
to
you try
boot camp.
hugging her?
Yeah, and then she's just like, maybe I was wrong about you, Jack Hammond.
Dude, maybe I'll just ride your fucking cock later.
Like, unbelievable. Like,
Charlie.
how though
Oh,
did we do it?
I'm not a
Because
character.
is there that much room in a Beamer? No, we definitely had to film without the doors on.
I heard you run off tiger jizz.
It's like I do. I mean, this might be where my problem started, is to chase 1994.
Let's see where the half of that 2.5 mid cup. That's weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of like weird windows into what Charlie Sheen became after this movie.
No, dude, he was always that, and then
I know.
he just got tired of covering it up. He was just like, "This is me. World, take me as I am."
Yeah. So he hangs up, and then we're in the police office again, and I think this is where the mom comes in right after this, like the real mom
Yeah,
with her like young boyfriend,
her
who
fucking
has
boy toy.
yeah, who has the best line of the movie later on when Planet of the Apes cuts in, and he's just like monkeys, and everyone's just like, shut the fuck up, dude. It was great.
I wanted to like that part, but I was like, no, movie. We're too far gone.
Kevin was like, no, you will not get. I already rescinded my one chuckle. You don't get a second.
That dog will not hunt, Monsieur. Fuck you.
And so, we introduced the real mom, and she's
for what reason? No idea.
No she idea. Serves no purpose to the movie.
Nothing matters.
I mean, she got some zingers. They got some heat to them. I mean,
they're not. Calls Dalton a limp dick, basically.
Yeah,
she's like, you couldn't get it up, so I'm over here fucking the pipe master.
Yeah. Look at this beefcake. He's got nothing up front, nothing in the brain, but he's packing down low. All right. And I ride that hog dirty. And they're just like, all right, man. Let's just get you some water and get you into a conference.
Yeah, it's like a baby's arm holding a salami.
It's just whipping it around. Okay, you should see my insides tore up from the floor.
He just beats me in the face with it. It's just like, God damn, time out.
Just like, come on.
Is this the movie? Did she ad lib? Who is this? Does she work here?
She's like, I'm real nasty. They're like, yeah, we know, miss. That's why you're
an actor.
Getting all of your shots done right now to get you the fuck back out of here.
Yeah, so. Just another character that just wastes your time as a viewer. Dustin, did you bring up when we go back to the cops of Cop 1 and 2, Rollins and
Principal from Billy Madison.
Rollins and Principal. We just randomly cut to this fucking juice box footage sometimes. It's the cops footage that the guy's shooting on his shoulder, and they randomly just show that to you throughout the movie whenever they get the inkling.
Because it's the same footage. I feel
it's actually worse quality.
Yeah, I mean they like put a green filter on it or something for some reason.
It's like a blue one. It's like and I was like, I've never like if it was black and white, that would have been fine. I've never shot on a camera where my footage looked blue in a playback.
Yeah, they were like, we don't have a blue light filter yet. So,
but there's nothing to indicate that to the viewer why they did that. Why did you do that? It wasn't like, hey man, did you get that footage? And he's like, yeah, check it out on this non-viewfinder I fucking have, and have a monitor to see what I shot. This is all film, right? What is this? And I'm like, why do
God, my shoulder's fucking on fire.
Why do we cut to that? And I was like, movie, stop it. You're pissing me off. How far is Mexico?
20 miles at some point. Like, we don't really know. This is filmed in Houston, so. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like, and then we cut these weird moments. And it sucks because I'm actually having a hard time remembering what we cut in between, because it's just like car or something else. And I think at this point, that's when the news helicopter. I mean, the news helicopter's already picked them up, so we're starting to introduce the news people. We get another phone call to the car.
Newport Beach, California, to Mexico is a 25-hour.
25 hours
to the heart of Mexico. We're just trying to get to the border, or what?
Yeah, we're just trying to get to the border, man.
They never indicated in the movie. Well, she did say Cabo, right?
Well, yeah, that was her. That was her final destination.
We'll say Cabo. We'll say Cabo's the final destination.
Okay, but they just need to get across the border, though, Kevin. Though I don't know how you do that with a bunch of cops on your ass. I'm pretty sure the border shuts down at that point. Like the border doesn't fuck around at that point, that spot. Okay?
I don't know if the border's ever fucked around.
Exactly. I mean, even in '94, I don't think you're getting you're not fucking around at that border, But hey, he's got nothing to live for.
Okay, so it's a 2-hour 15-minute drive.
From Newport to
Newport Beach to the border. To the border. I took you right to the border.
All right.
There's no way they would have made it through San Diego, dude. There's no way. They would have to go around.
Yeah.
And there's no call ahead when they get to San Diego of like, hey man, this guy is just a real stupid asshole. He's just taking the I-5 all the way down to the 805. Anybody want to snipe him or something?
I mean, yeah.
Because he's going to take an hour and 39 minutes because he's going to cut to the 805 south.
Yeah, he's going to hit some fucking heavy traffic.
He might stay on the 15 just so you can avoid those tolls. I don't know if those tolls
What?
existed
He's
in
not paying the
'94.
tolls. He's not
Well, at
paying
least
the
that'd have been a cool
tolls.
action scene to kind of watch them bust through it. But this
He's
movie's
just
like,
like,
no,
I'm
no,
not
we're
paying
gonna.
these tolls. And they're just like, oh shit. The cops got to stop and pay. They're just like, fuck.
Oh, they're like, all right. And then you have a comedy moment, Dustin.
Oh, that'd
Comedy.
be great if they all stop and they're all at different tolls. And he's just like,
No,
revving
no,
the
no.
engine,
Jack just
revving.
flies through the toll. Whether the goofy cops pull up, they're like, we'll pay for his too. And he's like, what about that arm he broke? And then he turns to the other cop. He's like, you got change? And he's like, what? There
You
you
got
go.
your Amex on you. He's like, not my Amex.
Oh,
I
the
need
wife's
those
got to kill
points.
me. Ah.
No,
There
that
you
would
go.
have
And
been
I'm laughing
that would
already.
have been a way different movie. And neither of those characters could deliver those lines in a convincing manner.
It's true.
Yeah.
Wait, did we
So
get past the semi truck with fucking the chili peppers?
no, we're not there yet. We got to do another phone scene before that. So,
The
um,
lawyer phone scene?
yeah. So then no. There's a news station one where they're like
Oh, yeah.
Jack from blah 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 blah, and he's just like fuck off, and then the lawyer. Oh no, maybe you're right. Maybe it is the lawyer. Yeah, his lawyer sees, and his lawyer's like, "Let me talk to him. I can get through to him," and calls him. And this is where we get the rest of his backstory that he was wrongfully put into prison, and that he's like, you don't fuck he's like, fuck the system. He's like, you don't fuck the system. You massage the system. You love on the system. You jerk off the system. You don't fuck the system though. Okay. It's looking for a long-term relationship, and that won't fly with the system. Okay. And he's just like, did I massage the system? And he's just like, yeah, you did everything right. And it's real. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's not honestly a horrible scene, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, who cares, guys? This is just so she feels pity for him, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it comes about that.
I think it's supposed to let the viewer know that he was wronged and he's just a product of a broken system that
exactly. He's not that bad of a guy.
He didn't get the fair trial and whatever.
Yeah. So he's just like, no, he's like, I'm going to Mexico. Fuck it, you know. So he hangs up on the lawyer. He's just like, that's, you know, we're done talking. And then I think we cut back to the cops again, and then we like a news van pulls up alongside of them, and then like they do an interview, and then that's when he like rips the phone out. And but Natalie's starting to feel like sympathy for him. I think she asks him like what's going on, or like you know what his backstory is at some point, and he's just, you know, that's when he's like, yeah, some other guy dressed as a clown, but then I got pulled in for it, and that's my story type of thing. And then the Red Hot Chili Peppers show up in a monster truck doing acting ?
Yeah.
And they're gonna take down Jack and Natalie's car with their raised Dodge Bronco. Or no, I'm sorry, Ford Bronco. Ford Bronco is fucking leave me alone. And
is that the commercial? Dodge Bronco, leave me alone.
Dodge Bronco, leave me alone. It's like, oh, I will. That's very high, so I can't get up there. And Flea is just super sweaty. He's just sweating. He's just sweating a lot in this scene. I don't know why. I guess there's no AC when you're that high up in a vehicle or something. And he just has this look of painful constipation on his face. And that guy gets it. But I just did not. I saw them and I was like, oh, fuck. I forgot they were in this fucking movie. I hate them so fucking much.
When is the movie going to address the Stockholm syndrome that Natalie's going through? Oh,
never. That will not be addressed, Kevin, because we've made it to where he's a good guy. He's a good guy in a bad situation. Okay, we're never going to address that. So then, the Chili Willies, they try to stop Jack, and they end up fucking rolling and getting a semi truck to smack into them, and then Jack hits a roadblock. And he off-roads it and goes to the other side and then pops back over. I guess they just like stopped conveniently for this scene, and then everyone went back to driving right after that. And somehow the cops always still just make it around with him. I mean, he never gains on them at all, which I always was bothered by. There's several times where they're driving right next to him. No one does shit, like Kevin said.
No,
No one does shit.
there's constant times where you can literally see motorcycle cops literally just
An
behind
arm's length away.
Natalie's window.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And then it's like, what's going on in the car? I'm like, the car has clear windows. You can see it 360 all around. What do you mean? What's going on in the car? Is he hurting her? She's literally sitting there.
You can see her. So like we saw her assault him with a cigarette lighter. Actually, that's probably the biggest crime that's happened in this movie is that assault on his neck. So, but and then fucking I'm trying to remember. Oh, and then after the car wreck scene, so then they get through. They're just like, man, what the fuck? And like, so she's definitely like full Stockholm syndrome for this guy at this point, like she's just like, tell me all about you, Jack. And then they have a moment where he's just like, that moment we shared where we like, I fucked for 25 seconds in the beginning of the movie. I just wondered, what if I was, what would I have? Would I have a shot with that chick? And I'm like, yeah, you're Charlie Sheen. You had a shot with a lot of chicks from what we all understand, sir. And then she's like, yeah, I was totally looking for someone to disappoint Daddy. And he's like, I could disappoint Daddy. That's for damn sure. So, and yeah, and then they just kind of have some weird flirtation there. And then they keep going. We're still doing the helicopter. We're checking in with the more news outlets and shit. We're checking in with the cops. And it just kind of gets to this point where then now she's like, they're full. Oh, he admits that the gun is actually a Butterfinger, so they eat the Butterfinger. She smears some chocolate on his face.
I'm like, he's driving.
I was just like, she gave no fucks about her life. She's never buckled in. She's constantly distracting him with cigarette lighters, chocolate on the face, phone calls. Just yeah.
She's not disciplined in the least bit. She's a terrible hostage.
She's a terrible hostage and a bad navigator, okay? And she starts cleaning his neck because now they're just like, we're cool. We're past the first stage of flirtation. And
I'm like, yeah, she's cleaning his neck. I'm like, shouldn't that just be the deepest gaping wound? We went over it earlier. He should literally just pass out from the pain.
Yeah, and her touching it with any sort of disinfectant should enrage him.
What disinfectant? She like rubbed Butterfinger in his fucking neck.
She's like, here's a Butterfinger and a napkin. He's just like, okay. I mean, is this like old school medicine or what are we doing here? So
just do wave.
And then she starts, getting close, getting frisky. She's like, so if you go back to jail, it might be a while before you touch a woman. And you've already been a while without touching a woman.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this movie should be called The Roadhead. Like The Road Ahead. What's wrong with you guys? Like, You thought I was talking about something else? I'm disgusted.
Well, get ready to be more disgusted, Kevin, because she pops the top and she's like, let's do it. I was like, I never saw a fucking zipper get undone. I never saw him reach down there. I never saw her reach down there.
Dude, it was just a grind session.
Yeah, and
That's all it was.
She gets on his lap and supposedly fuck. Like she kind of moves. He closes his eyes and drives for like 5 minutes with his eyes closed.
I've done that before, and I got in a car wreck.
Exactly, because I'm like,
I'm not even joking.
There's still traffic. There's still a lot of traffic, and then we cut to Henry Walls. What is he doing? He's swerving all over, and they're like, oh, they're fucking.
He's making a baby, Henry.
And then the movie's cinematography switches to like what I'm gonna call the '90s fuck camera, where it's just like
music video vibe.
Yeah. All of a sudden, the car, like this is the smoothest the car's driven for the entire fucking movie. Like they took the door off so she could actually sit on his lap. It had to have been actually very uncomfortable to do this scene for her, but whatever.
It was uncomfortable for me as well.
Yeah.
And
it's really long for something that's very PG-13, where like we saw her bra. There's an implication of of some sex, but it's not. It's mostly just making out. It really is. And I was like, man, this scene's really long.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah. I mean, you're 2020 eyes or 2021 eyes. 2020 eyes too, I guess.
It doesn't. I think even in
94 eyes, you're just like, yeah, I don't have the internet yet. I'll take it.
I think
you gotta remember, don't have the internet.
I think 1994 in 2 weeks, I'm looking back going, oh, jeez.
I mean, why do you think there was a hot demand for her to be in Playboy? They're like, all right, we only saw her bra. We really need to see some titties. Okay, can we see the titties? So, and then after this, they just have the afterglow. They're holding hands.
The afterglow of crotch grinding.
of fucking car sex, I mean,
it was no sex. It was grind.
I'm going to say there was sex.
It was MTV's The Grind.
It was definitely not MTV's The Grind.
I think it was a little bit of MTV's The Grind.
And she's like, we can make this work. Fuck everything. I'm gonna throw away everything for you. And he's just like,
listen,
right.
You're the heiress to some industrialist money. Your brain don't work so good. I was wrongfully accused, allegedly, because I'm a clown fucker, but you got problems, girl.
You're fucked in the head, all right? There's this guy, he's going to come around, his name's Dr. Phil. He's going to get a lot of lawsuits because he's going to send a lot of kids to places where they get molested. But you might want to look into talking. Yeah, he's got a lot of lawsuits.
Listen, you know a lot about dumb shit. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. The shit
that's kind of my forte, Kevin.
I'm like, what?
Hey, man, it gives us something to work with, all right? Don't fucking complain.
You should write like a TMZ type of thing and just be like, let's go Dustin's dumb shit. Celebrity edition. And it's just, that's the only edition.
I read a lot of news, okay?
I would news? Would you classify that as news or just...
a lawsuit is news, sir. Okay? It's not a gossip rag. It's not like they're fake suing. No, real lawyers are involved. Real motions were filed. Okay?
And then what Dr. Phil say? He's like,
the Cash Me Outside chick.
What happened?
The Cash Me Outside chick.
Mm-hmm.
She said that she was molested at the boot camp that he was sent her to. And so she's suing him. And then she opened that OnlyFans, and America's disgusting because they were like, she's been 18 for long enough. And I was like, oh, man. Are we ready for this conversation, America? And no, we were not. So there you go. Now it's full circle. Now you know every bit of dumb knowledge I know about this situation.
Really quick, everyone, I'm really sorry that we bring up things that you possibly have to Google to even mildly understand what we're talking about. Are these sidebars just spin off to a... Hold on, I'm apologizing. I'm apologizing. Please don't make it any worse.
No, I'm about to. The whole reason we're watching this movie is because I kept making Chase grinding car sex scenes.
No one knew what you were talking about.
Exactly. They will. Now they fucking will. So now anytime I bring it up in the future, we'll both know, and the audience will know exactly what I'm referring to.
No, there won't be an audience, Dustin, because everyone's just going to tap the fuck out. They're going to be like, you know what? It was kind of funny. I heard like too many times, and that guy just kept bringing up the same fucking joke and delete.
Up the Chase sex scene. And it worked the first 2 times, but then they talked about it, and then I was done.
Dude, please let us know if you thought that ever.
What, they were done, or that you didn't want to Google something?
No, that someone thought that. They brought it up 2 times. And I was like, I don't know who they is, because I had no clue what he was speaking of, everyone.
Apparently Kevin never caught them, okay? I knew when I said them, and I know I've done it twice.
I never saw the movie, Dustin.
I know, that's
like me referencing a movie you never saw going, remember that? I'm like, that's a movie?
But I never said, do you remember that? I just said...
Listen, if you held this in front of me, and I'd go, that's a movie?
I made it for other people that knew, Kevin, not specifically for you. Can we just talk about them getting to Tijuana yet? Okay. It's nighttime. Natalie's going to throw everything away for Charlie Sheen. There's a roadblock coming. They've set up somehow a surprise roadblock. No one, not the cops following him, not him, Jack, have thought there might be a roadblock at some point.
Would Newport Beach still be pursuing?
No, it would have been handed over to fucking
another department, maybe in the area.
Highway Patrol. Highway Patrol would have been on it. Like
And
Newport
wouldn't
would have been
it
off
be a
ages ago.
federal crime now that it's a kidnapping of someone of high, just anyone?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, kidnapping, car chase, that's
Wouldn't they?
anything out of Newport for sure. Newport's just like, yeah, we give up jurisdiction because we're Newport, and Henry Rollins is our best police officer, and he's a psychopath. So there you go. There you go. Yeah. So instead, we're getting close to the border, and it all comes crashing down. Charlie Sheen's got to hit the brakes. No one takes the shot, Kevin. They all have a clear shot. They could just shoot this guy and be done with it.
Good.
He stops. The cops.
He's already a felon. He's already on the
It's
run because he allegedly broke out between a transfer from San Francisco or something.
Yeah, which again would have made it federal instantly too.
Exactly.
The cops that are in pursuit of him don't know about the roadblock. They don't slow down and try to box him in. We got the chief of Newport Police watching on a mini TV going, box him in, box him in.
Why would they be watching on that little TV?
I don't know, Kevin.
You're telling
because
me a rich-ass city like Newport doesn't have a full-size TV for their popos to watch anything?
The chopper is in the shop or being used in a movie or something, and so they don't have their own footage. So they're watching TV. No one's communicated to them that they should be slowing down and boxing him in. So Charlie Sheen hits the brakes. They got 25 fucking guns on this guy. He just backs up. He just backs up.
It's a real stupid scene too.
Yeah. Oh, this is the worst of the worst. I will admit that.
We have to watch all the cops slowly pull their sidearm to us, something that's not there.
Yeah.
And the car slowly, it speeds into the shot, and he slams on his brakes, and everyone just stops.
Yeah.
We've already seen him shoot tires out and flip cop cars, and everyone just stands there. And then he backs up, he gets stuck, and the other cops that are following him are like, oh no,
they all swerve out of his way. None of them want to hit this car.
I've seen where they take their cars and just smash it into the fucking car, and hey, you know what? The airbag's a saver. She's rich.
Yeah.
And
we just need to end this. This is a lot of money.
So it ends up stopping. She gets out, and then he gets out, and then they shoot him. And
no, they don't. They drive around, and he's like, "This is where our ride ends."
Yeah,
and he's like, "You get out first." He gives her the gun. This is important, Kevin. He gives her the gun. He's like, "Besides, I do better with the candy guns, And so she gets out.
He's trying to be charming. He's just a dickhead.
Yeah, no one comes over to her. She just walks out like pouty. She shuts the door. She clicks the clicker. Walks away, and they're just like, "Miss, come over here." And then they just leave her. No one stays with her.
They don't swarm on him and just persist to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, there's still 90 fucking police officers with guns out. They're just like, get out of the car. Give me a fucking reason. So then he puts a cigarette in his mouth. He magically has a lighter, which should tell everyone dream sequence. And then he thinks about how if he got out of the car with his hand behind his back, they'd probably shoot the shit out of him. And then his daydream, they do. And then he's just like, ooh, I gotta just get out of the car normal. And he just puts his hands out and he's just like, don't shoot me. I realize it's a horrible idea. Ha ha ha, movie. You got the audience. You fooled them.
How dare you, movie, to do that? You've never once indicated that's how you tell your story. You just sprinkle it in there.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
I was like,
at all.
Fuck you. Everyone associated with this movie can suck dicks. I hated that. It was just
I never liked this ending. I always hated the ending.
The ending, dude, was just the biggest spit in the face, and I was done. I was so mentally exhausted.
But wait, there's more. But then they're arresting him. Dalton fucking comes. He flies in on the police helicopter because I don't know, fucking money.
Because it's a crime scene, and now you can just enter, and then there's no they don't take the girl, they don't put her in fucking
He assaults Jack while in handcuffs.
Yeah,
I was like, you have a fine daughter, Dalton. And I was like, why? A, why would you say that? Everyone knows that means you banged his daughter. B,
yeah, he should have been like,
why would he even be allowed near the suspect? that just got arrested.
He's a criminal, dude, and you're just
Yeah.
gonna have the dad. The dad should just pulled a fucking gun off one of the cops and shot him. That's how fucking
Fuck
out of
my
control.
daughter in a car, will you? That was on the 9 o'clock news. Just like, and then get away with it because he's rich. That would have been.
He's still better than Gavin. I'll give him.
I mean, he's loose on the gun policy, but have you been to the streets?
He is
They're
from
everywhere.
Newport.
He is from. I mean, if I'm gonna vote for anyone, it's gonna be Newport. So, yeah, and he goes up to his daughter. She shuns him. The fucking producer guy's still there, just like, get a shot. I'm gonna get an Emmy. I'm gonna get.
That guy only changed the camera battery once.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's another.
I was like, how's this getting an Emmy? This isn't getting an Emmy. Fucking not even a daytime Emmy. They're not even like. They're like, nah. This isn't getting shit, motherfucker.
Your releases aren't gonna cover all of what.
And he keeps framing with his fucking hands, and I'm just like, what do you do? The cameraman is
Scorsese, calm down.
Deep in that eye fucking viewfinder. He cannot see you framing shots with your fucking hands.
You're the producer, not a director.
Yeah, it's just like, fucking. So then this is the part where Henry Rollins is searching Jack, and he is so like just aggressively up in his anal cavity.
It almost turned you on.
Where I was just like, what type of movie are we getting now? Are we getting 2 sexy time scenes? Huh?
I remember this in 1994.
I mean, he's just like fucking crotch bumping him against that car. Like, come on, Charlie. You and me, let's go. Let's ride. And then there's a gunshot behind them. And
it was me taking myself out of the movie.
It's Kevin. It's Kevin's dead body. And they're like, great. Now you're going away for assisted suicide. He's just, you got me there. No, it's Natalie. She's got the annoying producer guy held hostage.
She knows how to hold a gun. She knows how to use it.
We're not even going to wait for the sequel. We're just going to do it now. Yeah, she knows how to use a jammy. She's like,
but not a rubber.
But no, definitely not. I mean, come on. You don't disappoint your father by bagging it, Kevin. You disappoint your father by being like, who knows?
She was probably using a lady condom.
No.
That's what she was in the gas station picking up.
Yeah, she was like, I need all the men to leave so they don't see what brand I'm buying. It's for a baby dick. Just like, what?
Everyone's like, we heard that. We're dead silent because you shot a gun.
Like, you said condom, and like
no one takes down the girl when she has a gun. She's clearly
no one was left behind. No, there's no one behind all those other cars. They're all just up Jack's ass. She shoots and blows up a helicopter, and she's like, uncuff Jack Hammond. And I was like, why are you using his full name all of a sudden? Weird.
She's like, oopsie daisy, I blew up a chopper with one shot.
With one guy. I was like, thank God the helicopter pilot got the fuck out.
The helicopter guy shows up with some donuts. Hey, thank God I wasn't in there.
Thank God, because it's common practice for us to
shoots
leave
him.
the helicopter after it lands, because we don't want anyone to fuck around with it and get hurt.
I had to stretch my legs. Who blew up my? Oh,
I mean, I flew all the way down here from Newport Beach. It's like a 25-minute fucking flight via helicopter. So
sorry for that boring long car ride y'all had to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I was
looking at the camera. Is anybody out there?
He's just like, it's real boring down here, huh? Yeah, she blows up a helicopter. They're like, Miss Moss, you're fucking got Stockholm, but we're not gonna call it that because we're not smart enough to look it up and know that's what it's called. You're confused right now. That's what we're going with because there's another movie about Stockholm Syndrome out roughly in the same era, so we can't use it. And
doesn't the media helicopter land for some reason? Even though they have perfect aerial coverage,
and leave their copper running.
They leave their chopper.
Yeah, they
running.
Copper chopper running.
And you know what? I don't think there'd be enough fuel for that helicopter to be in the air
all that time. No, they would have had a break from pursuit to refuel. So, but yeah, so they uncuff him, and I forget. Jack's character says something
You really do not want to call him Jack.
I don't, because he's not like, at no point was I like, this isn't Charlie Sheen.
This is Jack.
This is just Charlie Sheen in a movie, and sometimes people call him Jack, and the rest of the time they were like, Mr. Sheen, and he was just like, that's my father, and they were like, huh. Anyway, you're needed back on set, you fucking cokehead. And he was like, fair enough. He snorted a line and got back to work. He says something real stupid to her father, and then she marches him over. No one takes the shot.
He's like, your daughter's vagina tastes like Butterfinger.
He's like, because I put my fingers in there.
Because I butted my fingers off.
He's like, oh, I realized you didn't know that I kidnapped her with a Butterfinger. Hold on, let me explain the movie to you. And he's just like, no, please.
Hold on, let me get that one cop that introduced everything. Come on down, dude. He's like, hey guys, I'm here. I pulled the gun earlier, and so anyway, Charlie over here, Jack over here.
Jack, it don't matter. We all know it's Charlie Sheen. So she abandons her hostage. No one takes the shot. She points the gun at the cameraman, tells the cameraman to get out. Once again, abandons her hostage. They kiss on camera because that's the best time to do it.
They're just befuddled that this was a movie.
I can't believe we're letting this happen. They get on the helicopter. The pilot didn't take a cue from the cop one, and he didn't get out. So she puts the gun in his face and is like, where do you think you're going, motherfucker?
He's like, Mexico?
He's like, I guess I'll go to Mexico with you guys. Is it cool if I let them know where we land? And they're like, nah.
I'll blow this.
And I guess we don't expedite criminals back from Mexico at all, Kevin, because then we just see them on the beach. Charlie Sheen's grown the most disgusting mustache.
Once you go to the fucking Mexico, you're free. You disappear.
Laws don't exist down there at all.
No law.
Yeah, this is the popular thing. And he changes his name to Emilio.
Yeah.
Grows a mustache.
Story checks out.
And then she just like wets her hair back all the time. And I was like, that's not a good look for you.
They have a mariachi band pay 2 feet from their fucking face.
While they're talking, they're just like,
no one's talking, dude. Really, I don't know if you've ever been in the presence of a mariachi band, Dustin. That shit is cranked. You're just like,
and they were just like, they're like, you seem to be white and on the run. Let's play behind you. Maybe you'll tip us to leave. Yeah, and they don't. They're
just surprised like, it just didn't pan over to see the other 2 cops splashing in the water playing volleyball or something.
How did they get money, Kevin? What are they living off of? It's not like he was a successful criminal before this.
Dustin, they sold
it's
the
not like
the helicopter.
No, they left. I was like, they sold the helicopter. The guy's like, how do I get home? And they were
like, El Chapo was like, can I buy that off you? They're like, yeah.
They're like, fuck yeah. Set me up for life. We love Cabo. He's like, ooh.
A couple of weeks maybe, but not life.
You are very white, but okay. So, and that's the end of the movie, you know? And then it's just like, all right, here's a soundtrack that really honestly doesn't fit this movie's tone or theme at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't hate them. I mean, until they played Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then I kind of hated the soundtrack. But before that, I was just like, yeah, this is good music that does not match this movie. And then I saw No Effects, and I was like, why are you here? And I was like, oh, there it is. There's the song. Weird.
Yeah, dude, this is I think this teeters on if it's one of the top 5 worst movies we've covered. Easily. It's
have you forgotten December? Have you forgotten it's in the top 5 and
top 5.
5. It's number 5. It's not beating our December movies, Kevin.
Those don't even count. Those are just like
those count, sir, because I still feel that pain.
At least those were trying to be movies. Mm-hmm. They were trying, keyword, to be a character-driven narrative that has problems and obstacles, achieve something, does something, move from place to place, grows, changes their ways. I don't know what happened here. It was just 2 characters. I didn't believe at one moment anything, and they were just in the same location, and then it stopped. Just every other character was just in the way, and there was no subplot, there was no growth, there was no development. There was just two talking heads talking about stuff that I never get to see. I only hear about, and nothing happens. They go on the chase. They never get caught. The title's a fucking bullshit. I guess they did chase, but did they? They just followed behind gingerly.
They chased. I mean, it was a very leisurely chase, but they were chasing love, Kevin, and they found it.
Okay,
they caught it.
It's
really just.
I just fucking
like
sucks.
We bumble through the opening. The opening is just like, I'm like, this sets up the whole. Like, I forgot about how bad the opening was. Where I was like, man, this really.
Dustin, I could get
it. You set up your movie. This is
gun to my head, balls in a vice, tongued on fire with real flames. I could give you a better intro in 10 minutes than that shit.
For sure.
Not even trying. Half asleep on my deathbed. Doesn't even matter.
And then the rest of the movie is just, how do we make Charlie Sheen not such a bad guy?
But why?
And it's like, no, exactly, because he's the most level-headed character. Like, he understands like what she's going through. He understands media. He understands.
He doesn't say he understands it. He just says a counterpoint to it. Yeah, because there's no explanation to anything. There's no depth. There's nothing. Yeah, like, he's not like, hey, you know what? The media.
How do we make these two fall in love? That's it.
I had a trial, and it was the wrong stuff, and the media exploited me, and they made me their ratings like toy. Yeah. And I suffered, and I never got a fair shake because they'd rather get ratings than for me to get justice. Okay,
yeah, and it's like you have all this other exposition. We could have added that.
Yeah, that's
like very easily.
I got a lawyer, and the lawyer's like, "Hey, man, we're gonna do right by you. You got to play the game." He's like, "No, the game. It jerked me around, and the media's outside following me. This." And then he's like, "I'm not gonna give them what they want." And then he pulls over, lets her out of the car, and then he can Thelma Louise that shit off a cliff. Something, right? Like, give me that whole fuck the system, middle fingers up.
Or just stick with that first bullshit daydream ending where he just gets shot the shit out of and they find him unarmed. And you're just like, oh, fuck.
If they shoot the shit out of him and then he wakes up and he's outside the gas station in the Rabbit and they're like, hey, buddy, you okay? You nodded off in there. He's like, yeah. I gotta go. And they're like, what? And then he just calls the lawyer. Hey, I made some, I had some thought about it. Something. I'd have been like, oh, that's terrible. But at least he learned something. Anything like I just
it just wanted to be a cool movie, and it wasn't. It really wasn't.
Yeah, it's. Listen, I'm not. No fault of your own. I know nostalgia is a powerful thing, like I said, but
yeah, I mean, rewatching it, I was just like, I understand why I've never watched this again in my adult life.
And that's the thing. There are some movies that I know I remember loving, liking. Or other, right? And I know if I watch them again, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. But this jaded viewpoint that I have and how analytical I attempt to try to be poorly about stories and movies and picking things apart, you're always going to have to let the shit slide because it's fun. Who cares? But there's some movies where you're like, damn, man, did I just create my own happy memory of that movie? Were there things around the movie made me happy, but not so much the movie?
I mean, and really, definitely, for sure. But
that happens.
Looking back at this particular movie, I really just think it's just like that car sex scene stayed with me because I thought it was just like, even as a child.
Isn't that right, like, little Dustin? I pounded
No, it was more of just like, I was so bothered by the fact that he took his eyes off the road and didn't die. And I was just like, the logistics of it didn't makes sense, and that's why I reference it and have referenced it twice before. Count them, find them, whatever you want to do.
I don't know. Like I was,
you didn't know what I was talking about, so you ignored it, and that's fine. You moved on, but that's why I think it stuck with me, and I like to just make fun of that scene because it's just so stupid, So,
hey man, fair enough, dude.
That's a chase. I highly recommend you watch it for yourself.
That's your chase.
At all curious.
That's a chase, and Godspeed if you do.
Yeah, I mean, and if you have any nostalgic feelings, let us know on social media. You can find us at Us Versus Movies on Instagram and Twitter, and a Facebook page that we don't check. feel free to knock yourself out. Maybe we'll look at it because you're there. Answer our questions that were asked during this podcast on those social media. You can listen to us on your favorite podcast provider or right at the source at Buzzsprout. And of course, if you're listening to this on YouTube, it means it's a week later than when we released it. And thank you for subscribing there as well. Kevin, the chase is yours.
Oh, fuck, dang. Appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll see you on the next one.